No, just phone.
Oh, and they won't even put Apple in front of it. It's just phone.
Just phone.
No, I think the renaming move is probably a strategic decision to get people, ease them into a transition to a real Mac. Obviously, I reckon.
Yeah,
The
because
I thing is a little played out, though. I mean, I think we're all a little sick of everything having an I in front of it, so I wouldn't be sad to see it go.
yeah, get rid of it.
It was definitely a gimmick that worked.
Sure,
It definitely
they're not going to
kinda worked.
rename the iPhone, the iMac, the iPad, though, and the iPod.
Oh, they're gonna. You just
No, they're
wait,
not.
James. It's
No,
gonna
they're not.
happen.
No, they're
It's
not.
coming. Next, all of a sudden, you're gonna be just using your Mac and your phone, and you're gonna be like, "This is the most creative thing that Apple has ever done. How did they come up with these amazing names?"
Yeah, that's incredible.
The last new feature was pretty heavy Twitter integration. So on the iPhone, you have pretty much everywhere now you can tweet, and there's kind of a share button that's built in. So that's coming to Safari and a lot of other apps like Preview. So if you open a picture, you'll be able to tweet it from there.
That's awesome.
Really baking it right into the OS. I wouldn't call it awesome myself, but it's there.
You don't like that? You don't like being able to quickly? Well, you don't tweet much. That's
No, I don't
thing,
tweet
right?
shit, so I couldn't really care
Just
less.
realize
I'm a big
that
Twitter
the
user.
Library
so for
of
me.
Congress is saving every single tweet we make.
I
They
don't
can have
doubt it.
Archive in the Library of Congress. Oh, it's a lot. It's a staggering amount of information. I think 2 days exceeds like everything the Library of Congress had before they started doing this.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of scary because what we know about the ancient Greeks is just what the really smart people said. But we're being stupid about this. We're saving all this crap that people, because there's share buttons built into everything, they don't even
Right.
have a barrier to entry. They just share whatever's at the top of their head whenever they want to. That's all going to be saved. So
That's cool. Then will be
without-
people will know about us in 1,000
Yeah,
years. We want to
they're
try to
really-
figure it out.
I think we're stupid.
Yeah,
I
they-
don't think I'm sure they'll be stupider too when they're listening to their alien music, and they'll be,
I'm sure the ancient Greeks were actually quite stupid too, and
Oh, the day-to-day people. Yeah, but we don't hear from them. We just hear from the smart people.
no, you're right.
I don't know.
Well, smart people tweet too.
Well, yeah, but they're going to be drowned out.
They'll dig it out,
By
They'll
Justin
seek it
Bieber
out.
Fans and
and
Okay.
people saying 4 reasons why my girlfriend is a bitch, and with a hashtag.
Oh dear.
wait, is that seriously?
I don't know. Whenever you look at like the trending topics on Twitter, it's always like the worst, like stupidest bullshit in the world. Like let's see what they are right
that
now.
that confirms your negative perceptions about humanity.
All right, let's see. So we got never tell a girl, replace film titles with vagina, be a better man, and those are like the top 4 or the top 3 trending topics, all with hashtags. Never
Yeah.
tell a girl that you want to bang her sister, or whatever bullshit people are saying. It's so stupid.
that's
I hate
kind of
trending
obvious,
topics. I'm gonna have a victory coffee.
Go for it.
All right then.
So one thing is missing.
One last point. The major omission was Siri. We haven't heard anything about Siri for the desktop, and there's really no reason why. So my theory is that they're saving it as one last thing for the final official announcement, maybe.
I don't think they're gonna do
Maybe
it.
that's it, or maybe they just want people to buy the iPhone 4S. I mean, that's the only reason it's not on the other devices, because
Sure, but that makes sense if you're talking about iPhone versus iPhone 4S, or iPhone 4 versus iPhone 4S, sorry. But a desktop versus iPhone 4S, that doesn't make sense.
why doesn't it make sense? No, what I'm saying is that the motivation behind keeping it on the 4S isn't technical. You could put it on the 3G. Like, all you're doing is recording stuff and sending it off to Apple to decode. The reason it's not on those systems is because they want to sell the iPhone 4S. And judging by sales figure, I think they're more profitable than Exxon now. It worked.
Well, that makes sense, but only when you're talking about similar devices. It doesn't make sense to not bring that to the Mac, which is
Why
a
not?
desktop. Well, because
Why not?
the Mac isn't going to cannibalize the sales of the 4S.
Okay. I think they want to keep it exclusive to their 4S so that they can sell more iPhones.
I mean, two things, right? They've actually got OS X has always had some kind of mediocre speech command thing built into it, right?
Yes.
So it would make sense for it to replace that, firstly.
Yeah.
Right? Secondly, what about profit margins? I mean, do they make more profit on an iPhone 4S versus a Mac? If that's the single selling point of the iPhone 4S, doesn't it make more sense?
I don't know, but people are buying Macs anyways. The 4S, people were complaining it wasn't that exciting of a device. It wasn't really that different, and Surrey was one of the major selling points that they sold. Now, technically, there's no reason Surrey couldn't run on these other phones, but making it exclusive sure did help them sell more phones. Lots of people got them. Record numbers, in fact.
I got one.
Yep. Was Surrey part of that decision?
Not at all.
Okay.
But that doesn't cut into sales of the Mac. The Mac doesn't cut into sales of the iPhone. If anything, they're symbiotic. They work together. Mm-hmm. Sell more iPhones, you sell more Macs. So it really doesn't make sense.
Siri on your Mac, so you don't have to get a new phone.
No, I want Siri on a Mac because it would be awesome.
Okay.
I mean, I would still get a new phone to have Siri on it, and I would choose the 4S because it has Siri, right? But that wouldn't stop me buying a Mac. But
well, maybe there will be some big announcement during the summer. Oh, one other interesting thing about this is they're now going to do a new operating system every year for the Mac.
Who said that?
They did.
The announcement. Yeah, they did.
Oh, was it? Okay.
They're going to do incremental upgrades instead of rejiggering the entire OS when they do it. So it's going to be like kind of like the iPhone. They just push out like an incremental update that changes things, but it's not like a whole new spiel.
What I want to know is how much longer they can keep coming up with new cat names. They kind of pulled Mountain Lion. That was pretty cool.
They're just going to call it. The next one's going to be. It's going to be Mac OS Reddit. What's kind of a cat name? Well, you know, Reddit. They got a lot of cats.
You so much.
How about Mac OS 9 Cat?
No,
that would be pretty sweet.
You just boot it up and it just starts with the song.
Justin, I've only just noticed you've got that awesome Nyan Cat badge on. What on earth is that? Where's that from? Did you make it?
Christmas present.
Oh, lovely.
No, it's from like a store. You can buy things at stores. Yeah.
What? It's probably from Hot Topic.
I have no idea.
Justin, can you hold that cup up real quick? That cup is like weird looking.
It's like
it looks dangerous.
Yeah.
Looks like you could kill somebody with that cup.
This is why we shouldn't do video. They're gonna run out of cat names. Is my very important point.
They're gonna switch to dogs. There's like or maybe they'll start going with like not like with badass cats. They'll go with like cat breeds, like a tabby, tabby, Mac OS Persian.
That's quite possible. Yep.
I mean, they can use that well for a while. That won't run dry for years. There's plenty of cat breeds out there. So.
Another interesting thing about this upcoming operating system is how little fanfare that came with the announcement. There wasn't a splashy slideshow in a public place with people unnecessarily clapping for everything someone says. It was only seen by a handful of journalists during one-on-one presentations, which, according to the journalists' accounts that I've read, were very similar to this traditional Steve Jobs style presentation, but just with one person. They had the slideshow, someone talking, the whole thing. They just did it with one journalist at a time instead.
That's very odd.
It seems that Apple, with a big iPad announcement on the way, probably next month, doesn't want to overuse its marquee events. Didn't they just have one in January too? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was the iAuthor, wasn't it? iBooks Author.
iAuthor, yeah, the iBooks one. So they didn't want to do 3 in 1 quarter, apparently. So they are doing the Mac announcement kind of under the fly. What I'm wondering is, does this make the Mac a second-class citizen in the Apple ecosystem?
It does kind of seem like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Money-wise, definitely, but definitely don't sell as many Macs as they sell iPhones. But
well, did you see the graph of accumulated sales so far? The totals?
No, I have not.
The iPhone compared to the Macs. I mean, all the Macs sold ever. The iPhone has outdone it by millions. It's ridiculous.
In what, 4 years? What has it been, 4 years or 5 years? iPhone.
No, ever.
3.
All of them ever. The accumulated.
No, but I mean the iPhone's only been around for what, 4 years or 5 years?
Right. So I mean, since the beginning of Mac time and since the beginning of iPhone time, iPhones have outdone the Macs. Hang on, I'll try and pull it up here somewhere.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But the sales of the iPhone has to help the sales of the Macs too, just because people get into the Apple thing and they're like, oh, I want to get the full experience. I better get a MacBook and an iPad. And
yeah. So the headline here is Apple sold 156 million iOS devices in 2011, more than all Macs sold in 28 years.
Holy crap!
It's crazy.
That's
That's only
going back to
2011.
Lisa
Sorry,
and
yeah.
beyond.
Yeah.
So that's just this year they sold more
Last year.
iPhones than... Or last year, sorry,
Yeah.
it's 2012.
I mean,
Last year,
Google's... Sorry, Apple's profit last quarter. So not, the difference between revenue and profit, right?
Yeah, of course.
Revenue's the total you make. Profit is what you make, like, once all your expenses are accounted for. Google's profit, or Apple's profit last quarter was higher than Google's revenue. So
That's
they're
pretty
just
insane.
making an absurd amount of money. Yeah. And that's like the closest tech company to them. Remember when Microsoft was a big deal? That's long over. Apple is a giant.
Yeah.
Poor Microsoft.
Microsoft's the underdog now. No, I think they're better.
We should
off.
probably stop talking about Macs because I think one of our listeners got rather pissed off last time.
Why, we talked about too much Mac stuff?
Yeah, it was like 5 minutes of Mac and they were, oh dear, I won't repeat it.
Well, let's talk about all the cool things that Windows PCs can do. Chirp.
Play games?
Chirp. Chirp.
Yes? What?
Chirp. Chirp. Crickets. Chirp. No,
What?
Just kidding. I love Windows PCs. They're great, everybody. I love them. They're fun times.
Until Windows 8 comes out.
And then I'm going to throw it against the wall. Actually, I'm just not going to update.
I'm
not gonna
genuinely
upgrade.
curious to see how Windows 8 is, but I think a lot of PC people are going to be very, very pissed off.
They're all going to install Linux. This is just
Unlikely.
the time Linux has been waiting
That's
for.
probably why, yeah. It's probably why they're making it so hard to install Linux, because everyone's going to be angry.
Because they're like, shit, we're going to lose everybody. We better make it so it's impossible. Microsoft's always thinking ahead.
We've beaten on Windows 8 enough, I think. No need to beat on it again.
That's true. It might be a
It's
big
on itself just enough anyway.
I've been editing a manual about Windows Phone 7, and it sounds very functional. It sounds very useful. I'd like to try it out. So if
I would
Windows
too.
8 brings some of that over, could be cool.
Windows Phone 7 does look cool, but I would never, ever, 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 ever consider buying one. But if somebody handed me one and said, "Here, Dave, here's a Windows Phone 7, go play with it," I'd be like, "All right, well, I guess I could use this sometimes because it looks cool." But
Because it looks cool.
plus, I can play games and get Xbox Live achievements on it, which is always a bonus.
Yeah.
If I'm going to play a
And-
game on my phone, I might as well get something out of it.
It's interesting how all these different game systems are popping up, and everyone's trying to lock players in to their particular system, right? Because, yeah, Microsoft adding Xbox Game Live, is it?
Yeah.
The Xbox Live accounts to the phone, that's a big deal. That's going to be for a lot of people who are really obsessed with their gamer score.
Does that actually let you cross-game with Xbox Live, though?
No.
I'm curious about that.
I don't think so. I think it's just a matter of the games give you achievements and they count towards your score. Kind of like the Games
Well,
for
that
Windows
sucks.
Live thing that they did when they tried to push that, where you could play PC games and get achievements for it, but they just couldn't compete with Steam. Same kind of deal.
Not even something like Texas Hold'em? You can't cross-game on that? That seems a bit ridiculous.
I can't verify that. Probably like Uno.
Yeah.
I play like Uno with your friends.
There's seriously Uno for Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Actually, if you have
But that game is barely interactive when you're handing out cards physically. How is it?
Uno is it's the game you do not ever, ever, ever want to play on Xbox Live unless you love seeing other guys' penises. It's the first game that came out that supported not the Kinect, the old camera that Xbox used to have.
Why?
And all people do is just you
can't get
you don't have a
banned
camera
from
you
the
see your
service for showing people your penis?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you
Says James.
It's terrible. It's just nonstop. It's like all these guys are waiting for the day that some girl comes in and shows them their boobs, but it never happens. So it ends up just being them showing each other their penises. It is terrible. So don't play Uno, please. If you value your eyes.
Speaking of people sending penises over Xbox Live, Dave, have you been getting loads of random messages from Modern Warfare 3 players, inviting you to secret lobbies where they're going to glitch or something?
I've gotten those sometimes. I usually not usually, but
Glitch, is that a drug thing?
no, they're gonna boost their
Because
levels.
if you're just
and
talking
whatnot.
about glitches, that sounds really boring.
Huh.
No,